It's time to bring out the BetterWorldian in all of us. Welcome to BetterWorldians Radio with your hosts, Ray, Mary Sue, and Gregory Hansel. BetterWorldians Radio inspires you with the people and ideas that are making the world a better place. You'll hear how small acts can make a big difference every day. Now, here are Ray, Mary Sue, and Gregory.
Hi, welcome to BetterWorldians Radio. BetterWorldians Radio is a weekly broadcast whose mission is to uplift and inspire you to make the world a better place. I'm Ray Hansel, joined today by my co-host Mary Sue Hansel and Gregory Hansel. BetterWorldians Radio is brought to you by BetterWorldians Foundation and is co-hosted by the family team that created the popular social game on Facebook called A Better World. It rewards players for doing good deeds while helping to raise money and awareness for charities. To date, over 40 million good deeds have been done in a better world by more than 4 million people in over 100 countries. Today on BetterWorldians Radio, we have a very special episode, The Best of Gratitude. We're sharing with you some of our favorite conversations about the importance of gratitude and living a grateful life.
Our first clip comes from Dr. Robert Emmons, a leader in the positive psychology movement and author of several great books, including Thanks, How Practicing Gratitude Can Make You Happier, and Gratitude Works, a 21-day program for creating emotional prosperity. As the leading scientific expert on gratitude, in a conversation with Ray, Dr. Emmons tells us how gratitude and happiness are so closely linked.
You know, of course, we all want to be happy. It's one of the major motivations in life, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we admit this or not to ourselves, to other people. The decisions and choices we make about what to study, for example, or what job to take, what occupation to follow, where to live, who to marry, we make these decisions with the idea in our mind, what will bring us the most happiness, what will decrease on our level of unhappiness. And we know that gratitude is one of those factors that by practicing we can increase our level of happiness. And I think really what it comes down to is that gratitude is an amplifier or magnifier of the good in our lives, things that we normally may perhaps take for granted or not notice. We pay more attention to these. An amplifier or a magnifier, something that, just helps us notice these. It pumps up the volume of the goodness in our lives. It makes us more aware of the good things, the benefits, how people have helped us and supported us and sustained us, doing things for us that we could not do for ourselves. And so that's the main reason why gratitude produces happiness, is because it strengthens our connections to other people and magnifies the goodness in our lives.
Our next guest is Janice Kaplan, author of The Gratitude Diaries. Janice committed to focusing on gratitude for an entire year and found it changed her life completely. In the following clip, Janice discusses the ways in which her life was changed.
Really dramatically, and I didn't expect that it would. And in some ways, it started out as a bit of a literary device. I'll live a year of being grateful and see what happens. And I was so struck so quickly by how dramatically it changed me, and how it changed my perspective. And this has continued. What a gift I had that I got to live for a whole year and spend every day thinking about gratitude and talking to great researchers and smart people about what it meant to be grateful. And that year has ended, so I have slipped back a bit now and then, but it becomes a habit. And so when I find myself getting grumpy or I find myself getting frustrated, I can stop and I can make myself reframe a situation. And I can stop and say, what's the good in this? How can I find the positive in this? And it becomes a natural thing to do, and really does change your view and your whole outlook on things. That year of living gratefully that I did for the Gratitude Diaries ended up being probably one of the best years of my life. And nothing dramatic happened in that year. I didn't move to Hawaii and I didn't win the lottery. From the outside, my life was pretty much the same at the end of the year as at the beginning. But by feeling differently, by responding differently, by changing my relationship with my husband, by appreciating the work that I did, by being healthier, by being grateful, by spending more time outside. I just had such a happier and brighter outlook on everything. And I think I feel so passionately about the book because I know that anybody can do it. There's nothing special that I did. It's all described in the book, and really anybody can have that same experience.
We'll hear more on the best of gratitude in a moment, but right now I'd like to take a brief break and tell our listeners a bit about our game on Facebook called A Better World. A Better World encourages habits of goodness, positive mindsets, and giving to social causes to make a positive difference in the world. Players do things like express gratitude, share acts of kindness, send get-well notes to real-world sick children, and so many more. Each month we partner with a different charity and challenge our players to do a certain number of good deeds within the game. When they do, we release funds to our charity partner of the month. You can find out more at abetterworld.com. So now let's get back to our special episode, The Best of Gratitude.
Our next guest is Emiliana Simon Thomas from the Greater Good Science Center. She discussed fascinating research on gratitude being done at the center and talked about the efforts to make gratitude more mainstream. In the following clip, she talks about the real power of gratitude.
I think gratitude can make the world a better place, first and foremost, by building our sense of common humanity as a species. You know, we know right now, and maybe this first and foremost is reflective of what's happening in the world right now in terms of strife and disagreement and, radicalized sentiments around righteousness and difference, right? The idea that people are so different and different in such strong ways that some deserve to live and others don't is something that's very painful for all of us to live with day in and day out. And, I don't mean to be, to oversimplify and suggest gratitude as a panacea, but part of me does believe that if there were more opportunities for people across cultures to recognize and savor the gratitude, and some of this is going to require behavior, right? To do things that will actually elicit gratitude from cultures who perhaps are frustrated because of their degree of comfort and access to resources in the world. So, I do hope that if gratitude is kind of a bigger force in the world, that its practice will lead to, I hate to say it, world peace, because people will recognize common humanity and feel disinclined towards aggression and violence towards one another. At a public health level, of course, gratitude has all tremendous potential to alleviate some of the major challenges that we face in terms of depression, anxiety, and again, interpersonal strife and the cardiovascular and immune consequences of those experiences.
Our final guest today is Christy Nelson, Executive Director of a Network for Grateful Living, which runs the website gratefulness.org. Christy wraps up this special episode, The Best of Gratitude, by sharing how she believes gratitude can help make the world a better place.
We really believe at the core that gratefulness, that when we are full of gratitude for what we have in our lives and see life as a gift, that we're much more capable of being generous and kind to those whom we encounter, those who we know and love, and people we don't know and love, people who are like us and people who are not like us. And so grateful living, the act of kind of embodying gratefulness, is absolutely a surefire way, in our estimation, to bringing greater peace to the world, to bringing more respect to personal relationships and social relationships, to enhancing the sense of belonging and the world in which we belong to, that sense of we're inextricably tied to each other and this interdependence that we all enjoy. It makes us treat one another better. When you're grateful for something, you want to preserve it. You want to nourish it. You want to treasure it. And so increasing that sense of gratitude and gratefulness for what there is, if you're grateful for the earth, you want to take care of it. If you're grateful for other people, you want to protect them. So for us, it's a precursor. It's an underpinning. It's kind of a no-brainer that when we can be in touch with that gratefulness for life, we're much more likely to be agents for the best of what the world needs and what other people need from us.
BetterWorldians Radio is brought to you by BetterWorldians Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to make the world a better place by encouraging the very best in everyone. We believe it's essential to plant flowers, not just pull weeds. We focus on positive thinking, positive values, and positive actions. In short, our vision is to bring out the BetterWorldian in everybody so that we can all make it a better world. But we can't do it without your help. Donations actually support our BetterWorldians Radio podcast, and they also go towards developing new features like articles, videos, blogs, and so many more. So go to BetterWorldians.com and become part of this important mission. And until next time, everybody, please be a better worldian.